You're about to have a hard conversation. Maybe it's a negotiation. Maybe it's a breakup. Maybe it's a boundary you've avoided for months. So you sit down for a minute and you ask for power. More force, more intensity, more fire. And then you walk into the room and you do the one thing you promised yourself you wouldn't do. You come in too sharp. You overcorrect. You turn a real moment into a fight. And you leave thinking, why does my practice make me more chaotic? Here's the trap. You didn't ask for what you needed. You asked for the loudest force. And the loudest force is rarely the right one. In the next few minutes, I'll give you a simple selection rule so you stop calling the wrong quality and sabotaging your own goal. Think of the 7 planetary forces like 7 tools on a workbench. If your watch is broken and you grab a hammer, you will feel powerful. You will also destroy the watch. That's what wrong planet looks like in real life. Not evil, not spooky, just mismatch. Most modern practitioners don't fail because they lack sincerity. They fail because they don't name the outcome precisely. They say, I want more power. But power for what? To be respected? To be calmer? To be consistent? To be seen? To stop leaking energy into people-pleasing? To finish what you start? Those are different forces. And if you pick the wrong one, you don't just get no result. You often get the opposite result. Let me make this practical. The rule is simple. Don't pick a planet by mood. Pick it by function. Say the goal as a verb. Then match the verb to the force. Stabilize. Expand. Cut. Illuminate. Attract. Connect. Reflect. If you can do that, you can stop most self-sabotage without adding a single new ritual. Ready for the quick map? Saturn is stabilize. Saturn is the old figure with the dark cloak and the sickle. Not because it's negative, because it limits. It shapes. It says, this stays, this goes. If your problem is, I keep starting and abandoning, you don't need more fire. You need structure. Saturn. Jupiter is expand. Jupiter is the crowned figure lifted by winged boys. It's growth with order. It increases what already has a spine. If your problem is, I'm stuck, small, underpaid, underconnected, Jupiter isn't hype. It's the force of opportunity, permission, and bigger horizons without collapsing your ethics. Mars is cut. Mars is the armed rider on the lion. It's decisive action. It breaks inertia. It ends hesitation. If your problem is, I freeze, I avoid, I let people walk over me, Mars is clean. But if your problem is already reactivity, Mars becomes gasoline. Here's the first attention check. If your goal is peace, why are you choosing the force designed for conflict? The sun is illuminate. The sun is the crowned ruler with a raven held close to the chest. It's clarity that organizes everything around one center. If your problem is, I'm scattered, invisible, unclear, the sun isn't happiness, it's coherence. It makes you legible to yourself and to others. Venus is attract. Venus shows up as beauty, favor, and the soft power of harmony. Mirror energy, magnetism. If your problem is, every interaction becomes tense, Venus changes the temperature. It makes cooperation possible. It restores liking. Mercury is connect. Mercury is the winged foot messenger with the serpent-wrapped staff. It's learning, language, trade, movement between worlds. If your problem is, I can't think clearly, I can't explain myself, I can't negotiate, Mercury is your ally. It turns fog into articulation, and the moon is reflect. The moon is the traveler leaning on a staff, a bird perched above. It's rhythm, it's mood, it's memory. It's the part of you that absorbs and mirrors. If your problem is, I'm overstimulated, I can't sleep, I can't digest what happened, the moon brings you back to cycle, not by forcing, by listening. Now second attention check. And this is the twist most people miss. If you're chronically anxious, you usually don't need more power. You need better containment and better rhythm. Saturn and Moon first, then everything else becomes safer. Quick recap before we go further. So far, you've got one rule. Name your goal as a verb, then match the verb to the force. Next, I'm going to run this through 3 real-life situations so you can feel the difference between more intensity and right function. Situation 1. You want a raise. Most people pick Mars. They walk in ready to fight. They get sharp, defensive, tense, and the room closes. The function you actually need is usually Mercury plus Sun. Mercury to speak cleanly. Numbers, scope, terms. Sun to stand in a centered way. This is the value. This is the ask. Mars might show up at the end only if you need to cut a bad deal. But if you lead with Mars, you trigger resistance. Wrong planet doesn't just fail. It activates the wrong psychology in everyone around you. Situation 2. Your relationship is collapsing into arguments. Most people try to be stronger. They pick Mars again, and they wonder why everything becomes war. The function you need is Venus, not to be a doormat, to change the temperature so truth can be heard. Venus first, lower the friction, restore goodwill. Then Mercury, say the thing clearly. Then Saturn, set the boundary that makes the new reality stable. If you skip Venus, you can speak truth and still lose the person, because the channel is closed. Situation 3. You're building something creative, content, business, a new practice. Most people pick Jupiter. They want growth. They want momentum. They want it big. And then they expand chaos. The correct sequence is Saturn, then Sun, then Jupiter. Saturn, decide the constraints. Time, format, scope. Sun, choose the center, one message, one promise, one standard. Jupiter, expand what is already coherent. That's the difference between growth and inflation. If you take one thing from this, take this. Power is not a goal. Power is a side effect of precision. When you stop asking for a vibe and start choosing a function, your practice becomes cleaner. Your decisions get quieter, and you stop paying the same price for the same mistake. So the next time you feel the urge to grab more force, pause and name the verb. Stabilize, expand, cut, illuminate, attract, connect, reflect. Pick the tool that matches the job. And if you want the simplest place to start, Saturn for your boundaries, Moon for your rhythm. Everything else has somewhere safe to land. If this helped, you can like or subscribe. Quiet support keeps the work going.